Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast about video games and beer. It's episode 211. I'm Ben, and I'm here with Aadil.
Hey!
And Lucy.
Hi.
Hey, both.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Obviously, we're all high energy this week, as we slump back into our chairs, slowly talk about things quietly. So let's drink some beers.
Yay!
I'm dying for a beer. I've already had one. Had it early. I just thought my day was done. I was ready.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've been ready for hours. Right. I'm not really sure which one I was going to have first. I've got two new breweries for me this week. I think if is a quandary for you both. If you just had a hazy IPA, 6.5%. Or you had a hemp IPA at 6%. Which one do you think you'd start with?
Hazy.
Either.
I'm wondering whether the hemp one's going to have a bit of a dankness to it.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will start then with Sensei, which is a hazy IPA from Deep Creek Brewing Company, who are out of New Zealand. This is our latest haiku. Eastern philosophy meets East Coast USA. Right. Haiku are written with one of the four seasons as inspiration. Hazy winter brew of sensational flavours, masterfully crafted. Lush pineapple and subtle papaya flavours from all NZ hops. There you go.
I mean,
it's a lovely
it's no iambic pentameter, but you know, it'll do.
So I'm going to get this open. What did I say it was? 6.5%? Yeah, 6.5%. Yeah, Aadil, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the IPA from the Virginia Beer Company. Oh, that's how lighting works. This juicy, unfiltered tropical IPA expresses itself without limitation thanks to copious helpings of Azacca and Chinook hops. Note, some naturally occurring sediment is normally expected. It is 6% ABV. I think I have had something from Virginia Beer past, but it's been a while.
Sure.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Just
it's
a
not
slight,
going everywhere.
Yeah, just a slight head coming out of the can.
Good.
And Lucy, what are you having?
I'm having a 5.2% pale ale from Verdant, and it's called Some 50.
Oh, nice. I've got that on order.
Nice. The hops are Mosaic, Citra, Equinox, and Simcoe.
Lovely.
That's about it. 440ml can. Very nice art. Very nice cubist.
Have you had it before? Because I think it's a rebrew.
No.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. Yeah, I've had a lot of beers, so. But not to my knowledge. The name seemed unfamiliar to me, so. Let's see what it's like.
Nice.
Ooh.
I realised normally I write beers down, but this week I've just completely forgotten. So I'm just gonna scribble quickly.
Yeah, drink.
Right.
There's no need for admin.
Then I've got to listen back and then write it all down.
I just don't even bother. Just don't. Yeah. Just say we drank some beers.
Yeah. So Sensei, a hazy IPA. It's got a lovely nose, which came out as soon as I cracked the can. Super tropical, little sweetness to it. It is very hazy. I called it itself a hazy IPA, but it is super hazy. It's a little orangey, a little more than anything else, but it's a deep colour. It's really nice. And yeah, that tropical nose is really sweet. That's actually really light.
Yeah.
That sweet tropical notes that you get off the nose are a lot more subdued in the flavour. They're still kind of just there. That sweetness is where it's here in the nose. It's dialed right down in the flavour to allow a little bit more of a not quite piney, note to it. But there's almost this, maybe just a slight sourness from a little bit of a grapefruit hint in there, just dragging everything back, which kind of allows a very slightly earthy note to it. And that kind of lingers. Those two sort of flavours linger. This slight earthiness and then this slightly soured grapefruit in there as well. But it's very, very easy. That nose it's a big contrast between what I was expecting and then what actually is delivered in the taste. But it's still a very nice flavour. Very, very easy to drink.
Yeah. Good.
Aadil, we'll come to you because there's not much more to say about that.
Excellent. So as soon as I poured it, there were just tropical notes all throughout. So although they call it just an IPA, I mean, I think the notes said something about being juicy and tropically. I'm surprised they haven't called it a tropical IPA just based off that. And the taste, I mean, yeah, you're getting, it's a lot more light passion fruit. This is proper IPA, not too in your face. Light passion fruit, a touch of banana or something in there. Recedes quite bitter. And that lasts for a while so far. It's there's something else there, but there's a slight sweetness that also lingers, which is kind of a nice sort of twinning. It's really refreshing.
Nice.
Again, so it's like an IPA that lingers with bitterness, but isn't in your face bitter, and allows that tropical, passion fruity, slightly banana-y taste to sort of really hit the spot. It's got, I'm sure you saw in the pour, but it's quite, even though it's quite hazy, it's still quite carbonated. It feels carbonated on the taste, and it's such a like lingering bitterness, but at a low-key level that I was like, oh, but it kind of dries my mouth out. I'm like, no, actually, the mouthfeel is actually reasonably wet. It's just bitter, which means it's been a while since I've had, that this level of low-key bitterness lasting so long that I just get confused myself. It's really good.
Nice. Lucy, how about you?
Ben, I'm very happy that you ordered this beer. I'm sad for myself because I only have one of them. Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
Good.
I started drinking it whilst you lot were talking because I smelt it and it was just a burst of like citrus tropical fruits, and it's like, I'm not going to wait to drink this. I want to taste it now. And it just follows through in the taste. It's got like guava, like grapefruit, bit of pineapple, just like all these tropical fruits, and like all those four hops. What were they? Mosaic, Citra, Equinox, and Simcoe. They're just harmonizing. It's just like so much fruit, so much flavor in that. It's got a nice like piney and bitter finish to it. And you're still getting like quite a lot of citrus on the back end as well. That just mixes well with that bitterness, and that it lingers just long enough. So you're not always, just like, I need more. It satiates you enough, but you just want to go back because it just tastes so good. So good.
Nice.
So well balanced.
Did you say it was a pale?
Yeah, pale ale.
Yeah.
5.2. This is like perfect, like sessionable drink, Like
Good.
Aadil was saying, his was refreshing, and that's what I had in my mind about this. It's just refreshing. I think it's like just come out of the fridge. Probably still maybe about 5 degrees. So yeah, it's just perfect right now. This is probably one of the best beers I've had recently.
Nice.
Good.
I'm gonna have to see if I can scrounge up. Fuck, I was gonna say a copy.
Get it on your floppy disk.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, it's shareware. I can only have a sip before sending in for the rest of the can.
Oh, imagine that. That'd be awful.
I guess that's what tasters are.
Well,
Popping
that
out a
would be.
taster.
This Sensei has opened up a little bit more as I've sipped it. If it was shareware and only had the first 10% or something of it, I wouldn't have ever got these extra notes. But I'm getting a little bit of sort of orange coming through on there as well. Is it that sweetness has crept back in a little bit as my palate is kind of recognizing there's a little bit more going on, that the flavor's a little bit more complex. It's kind of, it's got lots of flowers, kind of. It's a bit samurai-y on the can, but it kind of does almost like unfurl like a flower that just keeps giving you little bits extra as you taste it more. I mean, I'm probably already halfway through the can, so hopefully, if I get to the end and it's still giving me more things, that would be kind of unprecedented, really. But we shall see. So,
I will pop in and say that sweetness, it's like a light sweet citrus, kind of like I want to say a stale mandarin orange, in the sense that like it's just not that punchy, even for a mandarin, but there's that slight citrusy edge, so that there is some depth to this, although it's so refreshing. And I confess that I've been wanting a beer for a while too, and I should have just had one, because now I'm just like, beer.
Well, I had one, and it's not slowing me down whatsoever on this. So
there's also the elephant in the room that Lucy just talked about before broadcast, but Cosmic over on the Twitch said, "Can you grow the beard back?" And I said, "Yes, it'll take some time, but it's weird." Also, I haven't shaved a chin in a long time, and like those of you who can see the video, good lord, I'm bad at this.
I think it was
no
the
one's
same
leaving
for
the house.
it was the same for both of us, wasn't it? I know you were freaked out, Lucy, when I shaved mine off.
I was freaked out too.
Yeah.
Yours grew back quite
I
quickly.
I was less freaked out than I thought I'd be with you, Ben. Aadil, I'm still convinced that it's an imposter.
I think I left a little bit of stubble, didn't I?
Yeah, you
did. You did do the
wet
full-
shaved. He's taking it. He's taking it down.
Yeah.
So
I also, I realized right before the podcast, because I did my, oh shit, I better at least check into the Animal Crossing bank to not lose my bonus streak. I didn't notice, but I definitely just made myself look like my Animal Crossing avatar, because it has long curly hair, but there's no beard options, and now I have no beard option. Insidious
it's
fucking
into your
thing.
mind so much. Brilliant. Right, let's enjoy these beers. Let's talk about some topics this week. I was going to start because I don't really have much to say this week. I haven't found much time to start gaming, except I've started 2 games, which, from the very small amount I've played, I feel like I'd prefer them to switch platforms. So I've been playing John Wick Hex on the PS4, and I've been playing Deliver Us the Moon on PC.
Yeah.
I feel that they're probably better on the other.
Yeah, I was going to say, having not quite started up John Wick Hex, because I forgot I owned it. Classic Aadil. I can't imagine, but like I've seen the gameplay and a couple short Let's Plays or quick looks. Boy, that seems like it'd be a pain in the ass to do with a controller.
I mean, I have played the first 3 levels so far, and in the third level, it gets a little bit more complicated. You get into a situation where more enemies are coming at you rather than maybe just 1 or 2. So things start to get a little bit complicated. And man, I am bad at that game. But it's not the control scheme. It's not the control scheme is the reason. It's more me not focusing at the correct time. So you can do moves, and everything is on a timer which runs at the top.
Yep.
And you make click to shoot, and that takes X amount of time. Obviously, when that runs, all of the enemies have time to do things as well. But every action takes up some of your focus bar, so you need to take time to refocus. So he would have to, John has to stop at some point, kind of gather himself, and then he can relaunch back into a set of moves. And what I have played so far, for this to kind of take that more tactical edge to it, rather than it just being, say, like an action game, actually works very well. And I think from the very small amount that I played, I actually like how it works. It just feels like it would be a bit more intuitive using a mouse to click over here to do that, or click on an enemy to pull down a table, rather than kind of scrolling over with the analog stick and pressing X and going down and choosing things. So it just feels like it'd be a little bit more intuitive on a PC. I know, so it's made by Bithell Games, but I was just trying to find out who ported it, because it wasn't Bithell Games who did the port over to console for John Wick Hex, and I will find that out later to let everybody know. But it feels kind of odd to have someone, you know, like John Wick, having seen the films, and we discussed them several weeks ago.
3 so good.
Yeah,
So
for it to take this kind of more tactical, not turn-based, like time. How do you describe
it's like
it?
halfway between an RTS and turn-based.
Yeah. But it works. As I say, from the limited amount that I played it definitely works. I'm really intrigued to keep playing it. I was very kind of gifted. I asked for a review code for PS4, and I got one.
And then they gifted it to you.
And then they gifted it to me. Yes. So
No,
thank you,
they
Indigo.
traded
You
it
don't
for
get it.
review services,
Yes.
which is now happening.
I
It may
feel
happen
like-
again because I might play it.
Well, I feel like I might just buy it on PC.
It's only on,
I bought
is
it.
it still
It's
on
on-
the Epic Games Store.
Epic Games
Yeah.
Store, yes.
Yeah, not on Steam.
I bought it at like 20-25% discount pre-order on Epic Game Store, and then how long it's been out?
Like 9
Last
months?
year, I think. Last
Yeah,
year,
so I think it was right around my PC's I realized my PC wasn't working properly, and so I was like, can't play, and then I now have a better PC and forgot about it. It's much like Dre that way.
Yeah, I might check it out when it comes to Steam. It has intrigued me.
Yeah. I mean, it's been on sale on the Epic Game Store a couple of times as well. I don't know how much it is, but pretty
Like
sure I've seen it down
£15 or
around sort of
something, maybe?
£10 or something like that on there. Again, I don't know how much it is on PS4
I imagine
either, but it only released last week. I think on the 5th it came out on the PS4. So that version has taken a little bit of time to get to us.
I
Obviously
imagine
being
if
done
it
with someone
is
else.
1 year exclusivity, it's only got like maybe 2-3 months left or something.
Maybe.
Yeah,
It
I
came
swear
out very
in, like,
close
August or something
to.
like that.
Yeah. I was going to say September sort of time. Definitely came out quite close to. I was going to say this when Epic Games Store kind of launched, but
That's been
actually
around.
probably didn't.
No, because
It
that's
feels like it did, but it probably didn't, because Epic
Epic
Games
Games Store was
Store didn't have many
2018.
games on.
that was 2018.
Yeah, maybe it's been around for like 2 years, but it only
Yeah.
had 3 games on until that came along, or something like that.
Because Hades was like the first launch for it.
Yes,
that
it was, yeah.
Game Awards 2018.
Which is a great game as well.
Yeah, because that's come
Anyway,
to Steam
That's
now.
now come to Steam. Yes,
Yeah.
it has.
Epic Games Store more than 2 weeks old. You're missing a lot of features.
What? No, I mean, the only reason I know it's that old is because when I think about all the fucking complaints people have
Yeah.
about that store, it's like,
And
oh
now
god, they've been
it's
going
all
on for
online.
ages.
And now that's quietened down now.
Yeah, because
They haven't changed
free
anything.
games. Oh yeah, but free games, and also irrational fucking anger dissipates.
Yeah,
I
eventually.
mean, well-calculated, rational responses to changes in your environment, because free
Okay.
choice is not good, and we should all obey our corporate overlords.
and
Wait, that didn't go right.
criticism that wasn't just really thinly veiled racism towards China. But anyway,
Pretty much.
yeah, because I think the Tony Hawk
Oh, wait,
remaster 1 and 2
yeah.
is Epic Games exclusive,
yeah.
Oh, is it?
which is weird. Yeah,
Oh.
it's like Activision. It's like, don't you have BattleNet and stuff like that? I don't-
Fucking BattleNet.
I don't know. Battle, beat each other up with skateboards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was gonna say a thing. I
It's
can't
when
remember.
he appears as a character in whatever the newest Blizzard game is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that I'm surprised. It might have happened. I'm surprised I haven't heard about people linking COVID to the Epic Game Store.
There is one person. There is a thread on probably 4chan that's about that. All about it. You know there is.
Oh no, it's definitely 8chan. 4chan's too tame. Remember?
Tame enough to host the, Ask Me Anything on it. Which dev did that? Which publisher did that? I can't even remember.
Oh, I can't remember.
Which one?
Everyone was it THQ Nordic?
Oh, it was.
Let's not go there.
Yeah,
today.
we won't.
I've had a long day. That will only make it even longer. But yes, so I'm enjoying Jockey Hacks. I will play some more. I'm also enjoying Deliver Us the Moon.
Oh yeah, tell me about. So I don't remember. I might have heard something about it in the past, but boy, I recognized the title, and I'm like, don't know anything about this game. So I was looking forward to you chatting about it.
I kickstarted it. I think that was brought up a few years ago. Yeah.
And it's on, and I'm playing it through the PC Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's kind of it switches between first and third person.
Yeah.
I don't know how sort of situational that is at the moment. So you start on Earth, you are running through a sort of third person kind of area, doing various very light puzzles, super light puzzles. So you're going and making your way to a rocket ship. You have to turn some valves and then come back in to start the kind of the launch sequence before you then go and get in the rocket. That sort of thing, and you have to maybe pull some stairs across and things. I'm now on the space station, and suddenly it switched me in the cockpit into a first-person view, and it has maintained that whilst I'm in the space station.
That launch was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
Impressive, yeah.
And I got a little bit worried because it had given me little clues as I was moving through the like the launch center on how you operate the spaceship. And I'm getting close to the spaceship thinking, are they going to want me to remember all of these things? Because there's a blueprint on a wall which says number 1 hit these things, number 2 hit these things. And I'm just like, I hope they don't expect me to have remembered all of these things. And they get there and it kind of takes you through it quite well. You don't actually have to remember those things. Some of them are timed, so there is a little element to that. I definitely failed.
Did you?
Well, yeah, I failed one of them because I'm like, I've got no idea what to do.
What happened? Did it game over?
No, so
did your ship explode?
No, it didn't explode because I was still docked in the launch bay. And because there's a sandstorm coming in, you've got to beat the time of the sandstorm coming in. Basically, just the sandstorm came in, and I had to abort the launch, and that was it.
Oh, I mean, did the soundtrack shift to Darude though?
It did not. He's nowhere to be seen. I mean, the premise is that.
Man, I'm glad I got you, Lucy. Though I was like, I should say no. I'll wait for a pause and then say the stupid things I need to say.
I mean, he's definitely been about because it's all about the desertification of the Earth and how the desert's just spreading. So I mean, that's clearly just him. It's nothing to do with global warming. But yeah, so you're going to restart a base on the moon because they've lost contact with them.
Yeah, you're basically trying to, I think, turn on this like laser that transmits energy to the Earth or something like that. I think, they set up a base on the moon, and then that went dark all of a sudden. What happened to the crew? Who knows? Several years later, it's like, we got to turn this thing back on, even though we have no energy on the moon. On the Earth, sorry, and then we got to go to the moon and turn the light switch back on, basically.
Right.
Turn the generator back on the moon.
Well, I don't know what are you playing it on, Lucy?
Xbox.
So you're using a control pad. So I was using mouse and keyboard, and in the third-person view, it felt a little bit kind of sluggish. So the turning circle on the movement wasn't sort of fantastic. I had to slow down to kind of get around corners a little bit better and things. It did feel just a little bit tanky almost.
It did take a little bit of getting used to it, but it's like, to be honest, this feels right because I'm in a spacesuit and see how, because I haven't got to the point where you maybe go back into third person. I'm still on that first person.
Yep.
Looking around the ship, which looks very Tacoma-y. So like
It does.
game
Yeah.
had, like a sheen and higher budget to it than I thought it would. It looks really nice, really good.
The
but
lighting is very nice as well.
Yeah.
There is that sheen to it, definitely.
Yeah, because I only saw this like when I was kickstarting it, like in that third person view. So going into first person, I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I like how it changes. But yeah, I'm really early as well, so I haven't really got too far into it. I do want to go back to it.
Yeah, definitely. It seems intriguing.
Yeah.
It's giving little bits of story as you go through. It's not flooding you with it. It also isn't doing. It kind of isn't doing too much in terms of giving you more story through collectibles. There is a little bit of that, but you don't have to delve too much into it. It seems like if you didn't look through that too much, that you're going to still get quite a good story taking you through without having to delve more into all of those extra bits. But yeah, it's interesting, and I definitely feel like playing on a control pad would be better, especially in the first person view, because trying to orientate myself in no gravity through a space station, kind of rotating and then pulling back, and
even on a controller that was a bit disorientating.
I'm guessing though,
I've got the mouse, I'm clicking and scrolling with the mouse to kind of look and it's just,
I mean, I'm guessing analog controls would be just infinitely better than
because I think you use like the bumpers too.
Yeah,
like reposition yourself.
But does your mouse have DPI settings?
No.
Because like that's one of the things I've noticed in some games. Like when you have this type of problem of having to like, oh, I shouldn't use the mouse. It'll show up on stream. Well, you have to fucking like battle because on this particular action you need to like really reef on the mouse. Being able to push a button and have it way more sensitive or way less sensitive is like, oh, okay, you're getting some of this notion of like analog sensitivity out of it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
fancy mice are expensive, and you've got a PS4.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you not tried using? As Aadil held up the DualShock, have you not tried using?
Well, because I only got maybe I don't know how long I've played, between half an hour and an hour today to get to that point, and the PlayStation was being used downstairs.
And you have the one controller,
I've only got
right?
the one pad.
Yeah.
What's your second one?
It got robbed, mate.
Yeah.
Remember? When the PlayStation got robbed, all my pads got robbed with it as well.
What an arsehole.
So I know. So
I'll
I've
give
only
you
got
one of
one
my
pad, which came with the new one.
I actually lost my original one.
I keep
think
thinking,
it fell in the bin.
Really? It fell in the bin?
Yeah, I think that's what happened to it.
You're like, no thanks.
Xbox for
accidentally elbow. You're like a cat that just pushes things off desks, aren't you? Just accidentally knocked it into the bin.
And I bought 6 more. So
yeah.
Wait, how many DS4s do you have?
At least 4.
And you have what, 17,500 Xbox?
I have every single combination in the design lab for Xbox.
I think that's actually way more.
Billions.
Yeah, it's something.
Infinite number of.
I keep my only fancy controller.
That's very nice. I really like.
Yeah, I got this from from another Xbox controller. They gave me a print, and I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll put my handle on it." And then the only reason this has a black back when I used the Canadian Xbox Design Lab was so that I could use this thing. But it also gave you text. And I don't know if you can see. I don't know if it'll refocus.
I can't quite make it out, but you can see there is something there.
Yeah, it says outoflives.net.
Yeah.
I should push this design as the official Out of Lives. Hey, you want? Make sure you put this. Yeah, I mean, it's Donatello and OG the Hulk. Of course, it's nice. But my favorite color, and this isn't my favorite shade of green, but I mean they've gotten way better. But in like this was what 2016, there weren't a lot of colors available, and also like you couldn't customize the colors of the analog sticks. Yeah, I think you might have been able to do some of the buttons, but I was like, no, I'd rather have them all
You can do
look the same.
buttons, you can do chrome.
Or it
You
might have been.
do
I think actually what it was there was some customization options, but I wanted them to match the green, but then the nice green of these wasn't. Just looked awful with this. Anyway, cosmetics. It turns out that's where you make the
Very
money.
Jokery.
Absolutely.
Oh no! I have never thought of that.
Thinking more Joker.
Lucy, you've just blown my mind. I've never thought of the fact that my favorite color scheme is also the Joker. Okay, hold on. I can fix this. This is Batman the Animated Series, the Joker, and anything that's not Frank Miller's the Joker. There we go. Now we're good.
Jack Nicholson was definitely purple,
Jack
but
Nicholson.
I don't think he had the green, did he?
Well, the hair, right? Joker always has green hair, white
I
face.
don't think Jack Nicholson had green hair, did he?
Oh. Fuck. Okay, I'm looking it up. Continue the talk. I'll let you know.
No, I was thinking of the animated series.
Yeah. I mean, that was fine. Mark Hamill is probably my favorite Joker outside of comic pages.
Nice.
Yeah, Heath Ledger's alright.
So yeah, Deliver Us the Moon seems interesting. It's definitely one to continue on with.
Yeah, definitely had green hair.
Oh, okay. It looks like it opens up a little bit more as well. It looks like there's vehicles and things like that with it to traverse around the moon and stuff.
AI companion as well.
Oh, so. Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So it opens up a lot more than kind of that first initial hour-ish.
It'd be interesting to see what the overall scope of this game is like. Because I kept up with the updates in the Kickstarter, but not too much. But yeah, it does seem like they not overscope, but definitely seems like they accomplished quite a lot.
Nice.
Within their budget. So.
Hopefully it's short.
Yeah, I think it's about 6 hours. So I'm
good.
Like, yep.
Spend all that budget on excellent lighting and atmosphere, and just truncate that story. Make it a short experience. Fine. Happy with that.
That's us tanked up. We fucking hate narratives.
We love narrative. We just love novellas. Novellas
I was
every
gonna
day.
say, To be honest, though, what would be really great is like fantastic, like Pulitzer Prize winning poetry, right? So all the quality, but like short.
Yeah. It says what it needs to say. Gets in.
It would have been like if you'd have watched Star Wars and it was just the crawl, and then it just stopped.
That'll do.
Like,
the dead speak. I will never stop making that reference. It's so dumb. It is. I find it dumber than I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Oh dear. So Lucy, we'll stick with you. They're my things that I've spoken about that I played this week, and obviously you played a little bit of Deliver the Moon, so we'll stick with you. To chat to us whatever you want to, mate. What do you want to talk about this week?
I spoke about it briefly last week, but I finished Fire Escape, the game from Ink Stories, who made 1979 The Revolution. Just as a quick recap, it's sort of a first-person voyeuristic whodunit murder mystery. You're basically standing on a fire escape of a Brooklyn apartment, and you're looking at a apartment block from across the way, and you're basically seeing the several different people's lives play out as the landlord, who's just about to chuck all these people out, get murdered that same night. And where it's separated into 3 episodes, and last time I spoke, I finished that first episode.
Yep.
Since then, I've completed the game. I've finished the other 2 episodes. It's quite a short game. It's if you were just go through all 3 episodes, it's probably maybe an hour. But there is the opportunity to go back into the menu. Like after every episode, credits roll and it just kicks you back into the main menu. You can pick another episode or go back to the one you previously visited. And you can there's different timestamps for each day, and it's like, I can pick 8:05 or 8:10, see what happens.
Oh, nice.
Because all these stories and all these, different apartment blocks, they're like happenings and circumstances and situations, they all happen concurrently. So it's like, oh, I'm over here looking at this dude, but over there in apartment block 3A, this couple is having an argument or something like that. So it really encourages you, especially if you go into the achievements, they're all revealed. It's like it encourages you to see what's happening and replay these things and like follow a certain character for that whole episode, see what they're doing and stuff like that. This is another game that's like just really carried by like really good voice acting. Graphically wise, it looks like a PS2 era game. It's like really low res assets, very, it's not great to look at. It sort of gels in an odd way with like the kind of New York. It feels like 1980s New York seedy, Brooklyn apartments, so it kind of fits with that vibe in a weird way. But yeah, graphically, it's not going to push your PC to the, to the max, which is kind of weird because it's a VR game. I think it does well in immersion, like orally, like listening to the voice acting. That carries a lot of the game and a lot of the characters' actions and stuff like that. But looking at it, it's like, I wonder what this would be like in VR. I guess it doesn't matter to a certain extent, but yeah, graphically, it's not. I mean, it's not mind blowing.
Having played a few more VR games than because one I had VR and then one of my PC died, it couldn't do it. But like, sorry, I'm pointing up because Aaron lives above me. He works for a VR development firm that does mostly like medical stuff. But like he then has all of the VR at home, or like can bring it home and test things. And so some of the best VR experiences are, I mean, like Superhot, for example, which it's not graphical fidelity. It's about figuring out the best way to like have someone really feel like they're in the gameplay while it's happening. Like compare that to like the Batman experience, which was cool because when you were like ziplining around, grappling hooking around, and like some other stuff, but most of it was just like looking at a Batman movie that you gotta like look around, but like looking at your hands was like, oh, but my hands don't work the right way. And it was like, well, if you're gonna do this realistic immersion thing, it breaks super easy. But if you're gonna do a kind of more cartoony world where then, and you have these restrictions, I actually think those two things line up really well because that suspension of disbelief is different and you can accept the limitations. And all you need is a good-looking world that you can interact a bunch with. Having said that, boy, I would love to have a next-gen VR and a PC could run it to try Half-Life Alyx because like that's promising both, right? To an extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. And like, this is a small dev team with probably not a lot of budget to make this game, so trying to get more realistic, I mean, you could go into that kind of uncanny valley kind of, territory. So yeah, you're right. And this is very much you're very static and you are just looking around this, apartment complex, and it's like your field of view. It's like, oh, I can only see this side of the apartment. And when I swing to the right or the left or whatever, I can only see this side. So I think that would work well in VR, in that kind of sense. But yeah, the story is. I think all the characters are like really, really well voice acted, and they've got their own flawed backstories. I mean, there's a few like stereotypes in there, which is like, it's like, oh, the person who the caretaker in this place, he's black and he's been to prison because obviously and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. And there's this black woman and her son's in prison now, and it's like, okay, game. It's just like, yeah. But it's aside from that, it's just like all these characters are just like, yeah, it's believable still. Like, the voice acting carries it a long way, and you see all these flawed characters, and like, you're thinking, oh, like, every single one of these people could have a possible motive to kill this landlord and stuff like that, so it always keeps you on your toes. But in terms of the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but they do like a classic Scooby-Doo, like, kind of reveal to it. So that lands a bit flat, but I will
The
say
landlord killed the landlord.
It was suicide all along.
yeah,
Killed himself with a fucking ice pick or an ice
No,
pill.
it's
Ice pill,
yeah.
that's what it is.
He faked his own death.
yeah.
But fucked it up and killed himself.
But it just trips at the last hurdle in terms of the end and the actual reveal of it, and but in terms of that, it's like Firewatch to me. It's like all throughout that story, you are captivated. It's just at the very end, it's just like, well, that's a bit of a crappy way to tie things up, but I really did enjoy the journey up to that point. So
I mean, I think that's the mark of I might have said not a perfect narrative, but like if the narrative's going well, you can forgive a bad start or a bad ending or some hiccups in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's something weird that goes on with, like, our culture on, or just maybe it's humans on, like, if the ending if they can't stick the landing, the whole thing's garbage. Like, all these people who are fucking rabid about Lost, and then they're in purgatory. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Lost was awful from the beginning. So
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I
All the
like
way
season
through.
1, and then season 2. Within 2 episodes, we're like, oh, there's extra survivors that you never found, but now we have them because we don't know how to write more.
As soon as
Like,
I saw a polar bear, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was the same. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the same.
I was
Yeah.
like,
but like, you can't be that rabid about this. Well, I guess part of it is, is narratives that build all of the suspension and all the suspense rather, and all of the narrative towards the twist, or just making things very difficult for themselves.
Yeah.
But in general, like, I didn't bother watching the end of Game of Thrones season 8. Just didn't watch season 8 because season 7 was kind of garbage to me. It was a little too
I
laughable.
regret watching every season of Dexter after the first
Well,
one.
But the thing is, I have fond memories of the first like 5-ish seasons, and like I will say though, like it was well written, well made, and you don't need it all to be good. Like the whole thing doesn't have to be perfect. You can be like, actually, I really had amazing times with these years, and then
Yeah.
it didn't work. Same thing with the West
completely
Wing. I watched. I finally actually caught up on Dexter. Then you mentioned it. This
That should
year,
be an
well,
awesome series, though.
this past like few years, yeah, season 1's really good. I actually liked 2 and 3, and everyone raved about 4, and it was okay. It's mostly John Lithgow. He's amazing.
Oh, that's the one with John Lithgow.
And then
yes.
I'm really glad people were like, "Boy, was season 5 garbage," and then everything else after that kind of garbage. Because it's like, okay, I'll stop at 4. Like, I could have easily stopped at 3, and then even like a few episodes into 4, I'm like, I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is, because it seems as weak as 3. And I was like, okay, I watched the thing, and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine, and actually a good
I don't
ending
hate
for
it. I didn't write into the writers saying, "Oh my god, you ruined that."
What? But Lucy, you always tell us we should just make our opinions known and harass any creative about their content.
True.
I think the difference between, say, a game which doesn't stick its landing and a TV series is that you're a bit more invested with the TV series. You've probably been with it, before we had before we had
Binging.
like on-demand TV. You've been watching it for 10 weeks, 20 odd weeks if it's a 24 episode sort of series. You've been watching it for a long time to then get that to this point. Where with a game, I don't know how long Fire Escape was, Lucy, but maybe it's so it's you sit there for that long. The ending doesn't quite stick, but you've enjoyed your hour still.
I really did. Yeah, I think it's a very, very good whodunit, even though it may not stick the landing. I think it's intriguing all the way to the end, and it's nice to get like these small, experimental games. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next because I've enjoyed both their games, 1979, The Revolution, and this. I hope there's more press around it because it's interesting.
Yeah. If it wasn't for those damn neighbours, it'd be fine.
See, that's why zombies should eat your neighbors.
That's why what? Zombies should eat their victims, did you say?
No, they're your neighbors. Zombies ain't my neighbors.
Oh,
Did you ever
yes,
play that
okay,
fucking
yes,
game?
yeah.
Sorry,
No, I didn't.
apparently I'm in reference mode today because like half my comments are just dumbass references.
Well, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So.
I'm glad.
Good.
Should we have another beer? Or should I briefly talk about
I even rinsed my glass because I had the time, and of course, this lovely British house has that sink.
Well, I'm a professional, and I have 2 glasses, so...
Yeah, so I
didn't bring my second glass up.
The one clear pint glass that was in the kitchen, or that and like a red stripe or a Heineken glass. I was like, I'll just wash it. It's fine.
Good.
Right, I'm gonna crack my beer. I will start. Ooh, this is Kempo. No, it's not. It's Karpo. I think there was an M. What have I read? Karpo from Alpha Delta. It is a hemp IPA in a gold can.
Ooh.
Oh, that's schmancy.
I know, it's very, very fancy. 6%.
I also. Oh, I was just saying. I also like the very crisp lettering on it.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
That's one of the cans where you're like, maybe I'll put it on the shelf because you can't. Oh, actually, can you peel that?
I don't know. I don't know whether I can peel it or not yet. I will have a look. I did try to peel the where has it gone?
The Arbor
Where have I
one?
put it? No, the Weird Beard can,
Oh,
the
right,
Antisocial
yeah.
Social Club, and it just ripped, just
Oh.
ripped straight across.
I mean, rip.
Which was a shame.
You should just
So
write a
that
nice letter to these breweries and say, can I just have one of the printing
Please
press,
just send
please?
me a label. Thank you very much.
Please.
So, yes, Karpo, a hemp IPA from Alpha Delta. I've not had anything from Alpha Delta before. They are from Newcastle. It doesn't give me much on here. There's no flavour text. It just tells me that there's special thanks to northumbrianhemp.com because it's British grown hemp that is in this. It has water, wheat, barley, oats, hops, yeast, hemp seeds, and hemp leaf.
Ooh.
What hemp?
Very,
It's
very
super
light.
light. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
so
really.
It looks kind of straw.
Yeah,
With a maybe a lemonade straw in your lighting.
absolutely.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe a little more yellow than on the camera than it actually is, but nice thick head to it as well. So, I'll talk about it in a minute. Aadil, what have you got?
Ooh, I've got a heavy hitter this week because I've been saving it, and I thought to myself maybe I'll just do a 1 beer week, and instead I started with a 6% beer or something, and then this one. This is a bottle.
Ooh, it's very nice looking. Look at that.
So it's De los Muertos and Barrica. It's made.
Just a bottle of wine.
It's made by Aura Brewing in London. It is.
Spain.
Sorry?
Right, well, you got something from Spain. Right, nice.
No, yeah, no. Of course not.
From London.
Well, so the Aura so because we've never had something from Aura, I'll actually read their flavor text. Aura Brewing, founded in 2016 in Modena, is an independent London brewery dedicated to creating beers that marry the quality of finest ingredients with contemporary beer styles. So it sounds like they are Spanish and maybe moved here. It's kind of a weird. Founded in Modena, but they're independent London.
Go
so
back.
this is
Good here.
It's warmer.
Yeah.
So it's a 9% 750ml Imperial Stout.
Oh,
Sorry, what was that?
beautiful.
It was a 9% 750ml bottle Imperial Stout.
This podcast might go on till midnight, so
Kim's already told me she's going to bed at 10:30. So if we keep going, we can just keep going.
Oh, excellent. So
I've got another
read
beer in the fridge as well. It's my last
Nice.
one.
I have 0 after this next
Oh
one.
no. I'll read the flavor text. It's,
Get on the
This-
vodka, Lucy.
yeah.
My
Oh no. Imperial Stout with large amounts of Scotch bonnet chili and chocolate that we aged for 6 months in a bourbon barrel. During this time, the barrel releases to this beer a unique character: sweet bourbon, vanilla, and oak. It actually, I don't know if you can tell on camera, they've waxed over
nice.
the bottle cap.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want me to know this is quality.
Yeah. You sound fancy today, so you shaved your beard, you got fancy
Oh,
beard.
I've discovered a problem.
Oh,
The
And
wax
you
is
can't
preventing me
open
from opening it.
You're gonna have to dig. You have to dig a
No,
bit.
fair.
Dig it.
Well, why don't we move to Lucy while I crack this for it? Oh,
I've
there we
also got a stout, but
Have you just taken the wax off?
No, the whole thing is off, but it's stuck to the top of the bottle by a
Oh
thin
yes, yeah.
branch of wax. I'm going to take a picture of that. Go on, Lucy. Sorry.
I've also got a stout. It's only 7.5%, unfortunately. And it is from North Brewing Co.
Oh, North, lovely.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, I like that can.
Yeah, it's very pretty. All black with yellow shapes on it. It's also it's a collab with Dugges Bryggeri.
Oh, nice. Ooh, Dugges makes some fucking fantastic stouts.
They do. In this, it's barley, rye, oats, cacao nibs, coffee, hops, yeast, vanilla, and tonka beans. 440
Nice.
ml can. Yeah, 7.5%. If I didn't already mention that. Yeah. So
Quality.
wind down the night
Yeah,
with a
I
stout.
haven't had something from Dugges for ages. I think it was maybe the last beer festival, actually,
Ooh.
in Bristol, which was almost a year ago. I think it was the last time I had something from them.
No, that was. It was June last time, was it?
Yeah, it was June. Yes, yeah, it was. So we'll roll back round to me. I've just noticed it says in the tiniest of writing, that little logo on the bottom is Northumbrian Hemp's logo, I guess, because there's a plus sign underneath leading towards it. It's got a very, very light nose.
Yeah.
I know we were talking sort of, Aadil, you sort of mentioned like a lemony straw colour to it, and you're definitely getting a little bit of citrus on the nose, but not much else at all. Very, very light. Ooh, that is deep. That is dank.
Ooh, excellent.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Little bit of sweet fruit in there. Not a huge amount. Not necessarily citrus. Not the same hint that I'm getting from the nose in the flavour. There's definitely a little bit of fruit coming through there, but not much at all. It leads very swiftly into this very floral dankness. So you've kind of got this nice weedy dankness, which isn't super strong, against this very slight perfumed sort of floral note to it as well, which kind of edges just in the background a little bit. So it allows that dank hemp note to run through, run its course, and then there's just this slight sweet perfumed kind of floral note to it as well, which is really easy and just is sat above everything else and sticks around. It's very very dry, even from the first sip. As soon as you take it back, it's dry, but the flavors last. That lingers really, really well. It's kind of almost that slight floral note to it is making me think of like Parma violets. It's that kind of sweetness to it. You know, it's a slightly candied kind of floral sweetness, which is maybe a little bit sort of lavendery, perhaps. But yeah, this tastes really, really good. Percentage wise was about 6ish, I think. Yeah, it is 6%, and you don't get the booze in it at all. You didn't on the previous beer from Deep Creek either, which was a little bit more, about 6.5, I think. But you don't get the booze on it at all. It's really easy and is a very, very nice flavour. It's one, I think, with the previous beer with Sensei, I drank that pretty quickly. You know, very good IPA sort of flavours to it. Went back very easily, drank very quickly. This, because that flavour sticks around so long, I can just sort of luxuriate over almost. It feels like something to take my time with.
Excellent.
And even now, 30 odd seconds of chat, that flavour is still there.
30 odd seconds of chat was the name of my second album.
Hey, Aadil, how's your beer?
So on the nose, you get that chocolate and a slight hint of that chili immediately. It along with that like lovely malty boozy hit of an imperial stout, and obviously it just looks like what you want. Thin layer, but thin head, but real thick. Oh, you can see it clinging to the glass here. Oh, it's real smooth and velvety. It just coats your mouth. I wish it was a touch colder. I kind of took it out of the fridge maybe a little early. Oh, wow. That I was going to talk about the initial taste, but that finish is like... So it's like... What is it? Slight coffee, but mostly just really rich chocolate. You know when you like binge on high % cacao chocolate and then there's that taste that lingers? Not that like in your face, God, I just had this dark chocolate, but then like, man, I had that chocolate earlier. That's the feeling. Cannot tell this is 9%. Very dangerous, given that it's smooth. And I have... Whoa, I don't know if you can see that much left in the bottle. I thought the Scotch bonnet would have a bigger impact. I'll see if now that my mouth has got coated, like whether it'll change. But it was mostly just in the initial taste.
I did enjoy.
I was intrigued about because I love Scotch bonnets. In Caribbean.
I thought it kicked in, so I did enjoy. You were talking about that taste, and you went to sip it again. And that finish just kind of hit you, and you just see the pint glass go away as you then begin to describe the finish. I thought you were going to say that the chili had kind of kicked in at that point.
So it's the exact opposite of that. The chili's there right away. Like even on a small sip, like I just took, I get that spike a little bit of heat, but it's very thin. If that makes sense. Like it's like oh yeah, but there's other things going on, like that maltiness, chocolateness is sort of there from start to finish. No, now that I'm a little used to it, it's just, I guess what the thing is, the spice I thought would be bigger because it's Scotch bonnet, but obviously it must be diluted. And instead it just does, if you've ever had Scotch bonnet, it doesn't leave your mouth. And so it just sort of lingers, but because it's so low key, those first sips, my taste buds were overwhelmed by all the chocolate and all the malt that I just didn't notice. It fades quicker than the rest, but now that it's been 20 seconds since like third sip, it's still a little there. Like if I move my tongue around, I'm like other parts still like, oh yeah, the heat's still there, but it's really mild. Like if you don't like spice or if you can't take spice, you'd have no problem with this. It just gives that extra like third dimension, and again, like it tracks through in this. It's like a small spike, a very distinct spice. It's really good. This is I know, Lucy, you rag on me for having stouts every week, but this is one of the best stouts I've had in a while.
Porters.
Yeah. You're right, actually. Yeah. Maybe that was the problem. I should have gone back to stouts. This is... but
yeah, that's
I'm a big fan.
Spicy, you know? Like, because... Like, I think it's better less than, obviously, more, because I just remember there was I think it's from Magic Rock. There was a Demole one where it was like, I think it was something like 10% or something like that. It just had too much chili in it.
I remember.
And
a ginger one as well.
I think they have a ginger one. I think this was just a normal imperial stout, from what I can remember. But when like stouts have chilies in it and it does it just right, you have that, like, as you say, that extra depth and dimension, and it's just there. It just gives you that extra bit of warmth, but not too much, because you obviously got the warmth from the alcohol as well. There's nothing there. Like, I still remember the Tempest one. I think it has ancho chilies in it, and it's just like so good. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Also, De Mole is an excellent brewery name.
Yes.
It's just so good to say. Lucy, how about your beer?
When I first poured it, it had a nice, quite large head, like foamy and bubbly head that like biscuity coloured, like digestive biscuity coloured. But since dissipated, getting a little bit of vanilla on the aroma. Definitely a lot of coffee. Ooh, yeah, that's got a nice smell to it. Mostly coffee, a little bit of vanilla. Wow, that's heavier than I thought. Not heavier. The mouthfeel is a bit more full than I thought it is. I thought it'd be like not watery, like maybe like a 5% porter or stout, but not quite as full as like your 9% and stuff like that. But it has got like a full body to it. Not too heavy. It's got a slight, not wateriness, but easiness to it. But it's got the right amount of body to it, where it's not too thin. But after talking, it's like the aftertaste. All I'm getting is that vanilla, those tonka beans, coffee, bit of chocolate, like milk chocolate. This is a very good stout.
Nice.
I think I honestly might have to track down copies of both of your beers tonight, because you've just made me want them.
Nice. I'm definitely going to look for the one Lucy's got. Well, I'm going to look for the one both of you have picked up. It sounds insane. Lucy, I think last year North put out a stout, which was also in a black and yellow can, but I can't remember exactly what kind it was, but I just remember it being this sweet honey, slightly kind of caramelly sort of stout, and it was absolutely beautiful. And there's so many of these breweries which you go, yep, they do stouts really well, and North kind of aren't in that same conversation yet.
IPAs,
yeah. I mean, every stout I've had from them has been really good.
Yeah.
Because I picked it up, it's like I'm not really in stout mode. I'm much more IPA these days in this like kind of warm weather that we've been having. But
yeah,
it's like when I see a beer from North, it's like always, because
it's a shoe-in, right?
Yeah, they make some quality beers.
They do.
But
yeah, absolutely.
This is really, really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent.
It's got
so
a nice bit to it as well at the end. It's just like, yeah. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Excellent. You
I
should
imagine you're probably even happier, because we're going to talk about something a little bit different now. Take it in a little bit of a tangent. We'll come back. I know Lucy played a few more things, so we'll come back to that in a moment. But and I'll let Aadil take us away with this. We've had a request. If you listen to the podcast and you haven't picked up on it yet, we have started to stream our recordings live on a Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. And we've got some people watching. So we've had we were super late tonight because of a small human fell over and cut her hand, and it was absolutely
I didn't realize
distraught.
She hurt herself.
Yeah, she hurt herself. So she's just distraught for about an hour and a half.
So we have we got a question from Twitch.
I'm happy with this question. Good question.
Techman5000 asked, has I lost the question? No, can you guys talk about the Tony Hawk, discuss your thoughts on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remakes that were announced today?
It was up to me. This is all we would have talked about. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, yeah, of course we can. Like, we briefly mentioned it earlier in the pod when we talked about EGS exclusivity, which everyone knows what our opinions of that are.
It's fine.
Exclusivity, I mean, not EGS. I'm glad you've turned a bit of a corner, Lucy, because you used to be just, boy, EGS is trash, and everyone should just ignore it.
It's still trash.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was a good question. But I thought it'd be a good question to field, not only about the remakes and our thoughts, but maybe just our general thoughts on the series, because, well, it's pretty seminal.
I was literally playing, was it not last weekend, weekend before? I spent like 2 hours on my Saturday playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 in an emulator, so I'm
You
very
mean legitimately on the console you owned?
I still have. I don't know if I still have a copy of it, but I definitely have PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. So yeah, we'll just say that for legal reasons. I played it. No, I just played it. I just typed in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 free online, and I picked the first emulator that came up, and it was just like, yeah, whatever, done.
I mean,
It's still good. It still holds up. I love those games.
I mean, how much did you guys play skate games?
The Skate series from EA?
No, sorry, like skateboarding video games.
A lot.
I played a lot of Tony Hawk. 1 through, we were discussing this the other day, through to the Wasteland.
You played up to Wasteland, yeah. Yeah, I think I only played up to 3. And then had switched to other games. So I'd always played like snowboarding game, like Cool Borders, 1080 snowboarding, Tony Hawk's, Dave Mirra, BMX.
BMX Triple X. Yeah.
I loved those kinds of games because I was out with my friends doing stuff, skating and doing those things, and then able to kind of come home and play those things, and then go back out with my friends and be like, I'm going to try this. No, I'm not going to try that. That seems absurd.
No, it was living on the ultimate fantasy for me because, that power fantasy we're talking about video games, because I remember stepping on a skateboard once and just like, nope. No. I do not want to break my collarbone. So.
And now you can do a 5 million combo. So
yeah, if you put on the right cheats.
Hey.
On the cheats where it's like
zero
gravity.
I skateboarded for maybe a half year and never could do even like an ollie. But then like, a couple of years later, like in high school, end of high school and then first undergrad, longboard.
Okay, yeah.
And no game, even then, because I'm old as shit, so like early, mid 2000s, there's no game to longboard, and there weren't really that many surfing games or snowboarding games.
Yeah.
So, or at least the snowboarding games were very much like half pipe centric, tricky ones, and so I never really got that video game attachment that you were describing. I did almost kill myself longboarding though. I was in the Rocky Mountains at an ex-boss of mine's house there, and so he was in a really fancy neighborhood, so everyone was on top of this really steep hill, and we had a 5-foot longboard and a 6-foot longboard. And then we were, my buddy Colin used to surf when he grew up in Florida, and so he was teaching us surfing moves while we were bombing down these hills that were very steep.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but all I'm thinking of now is that Simpsons where Homer falls down the gorge.
I mean,
I hope you were helicoptered up on the longboard and just bashed into the wall continuously.
No, it was less. I didn't damage myself, but if I had damaged myself, it would have been like game over. So one of the moves on a surfboard is called hanging 10 on a longboard going down at like 35 miles per hour plus is real scary. Because you're on picture it, you're like this and like hanging off, and you're like, well, if I lean too far forward, I'm done, because my face will just plant. This is a little too extreme. But Colin taught us the coffin, which is where the surfer mid surf throws a leg out, crouches down, lies down on the board, crosses their hands over their chest like vampire style, and then carves by leaning the rest of the wave. So when you do this on a really steep hill on asphalt at, like I said, 35 miles plus, that's basically street luge with no protective gear.
Yeah.
And when you try and do it, but you've never done it before, you just do it on a real steep hill where you're like catching mega speed. What happens when you sit your weight back on the board poorly is you put it too far on one side, and then the board lifts off on two wheels, and you realize I'm about to just kill myself because I'm just gonna tumble, then road rash. I like, threw a leg out the other way for off balance, and then immediately sat up and just burnt the like soles of my skate shoes trying to brake. As I'm like, I almost died.
Perfect.
I thought I was going to die when I was in the
And then you were
trolley.
able...
This was at like 5 miles per hour. Let alone.
It's real stupid.
But then you
anyway.
could coffin in Tony Hawk's and all of those skating games. You could do those moves.
Really?
So I bring this up because I actually have very little to say because I missed most of the skate games, except I got like Skate 2 on the Xbox like 360 real late when I was in Amsterdam and got a 360 and just played the shit out of it. But mostly for like the open world, dropping shit, seeing what kind of stupid things I could do, and never really trying to combo.
Yeah, I could never revert into the skate games because my brain was just hardwired into Tony Hawk's, like square to grind or triangle to grind and stuff like that. So it's just I could never do it. It was like muscle memory. I couldn't train my brain to the skate way of things.
I think that the difference is almost like looking at an arcade racer and a sim racer, isn't it? Like Tony Hawk's is an arcade game.
Yeah,
it is tap a button, do some absolutely insane tricks. Skate gave a little more kind of precision, and I think the skating games that we've heard of coming out in the future, which like Skater XL, and there's that one that's on that's currently on Steam that's coming to Xbox as well. The name escapes me completely.
Escapes you?
Session, yes. But they seem like they're going for a little bit more realism. Having not a new Tony Hawk game, but a remaster of the first and second games, lets me know that this is just going to be absurd arcade fun.
Yeah,
and we're gonna just get to do those ridiculous moves. And listening to the kind of the announcement and what Tony Hawk and what's the name?
Her name was Jen. I think she producer on previous Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, it came from Neversoft, right?
I think, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Or she was just always Vicarious Visions. I don't remember, but I know that Vicarious Visions, from that interview, they have people from Neversoft
yes,
working for them. So,
and it sounds like they want to retain that element to it, that kind of that arcadey nature of it. You know, they've not taken a new Tony Hawk's game and made it more realistic. They're not going for that sim racer effect. They are super arcadey. You tap square, you are gonna grind along a rail. You hit your analog stick. Obviously, there were no analog sticks. I think with the first Tony Hawk game, it was just on the original PS Pad.
But playing it on the emulator, I was using directional pads. So.
Right.
So there's lots of stuff that I think is going to be upgraded, but I hope they still retain that that crazy arcade sort of thing. Yeah. You can get so much air and just combo, and then come down and grind and combo and manual and combo and just constantly build this kind of thing up. That is what I want from Tony Hawk's. I don't kind of want it to move anywhere else. We have other games that are trying to do those kinds of things, and if people want a little more realism, they want maybe not more precision, but they want more control over what they're doing, then they've got other things to kind of move to. Yeah, absolutely. The amount of times that I used to play like Horse on Tony Hawk's with my brother, just sat there, and just you'd get up into the thousands and thousands and thousands on an absurd combo, and then I just sit there like, how the fuck did you do that? No, I
forgot about Horse. I used to play that so much as well.
Yeah.
Can you just inform me what the Horse is?
So
I know the playground game. I don't think this is the playground game.
Well, it's the same. You have to repeat the trick. You repeat the trick that the person before you had done. I
mean, I just button mash on these games for the most part, so I don't think that's possible.
No, it is.
That's what it is, though. That's what Tony Hawk is.
Yeah.
But like, how do you button mashing? to follow someone means you're no longer bashing.
But you're not. So you're not button bashing because you're trying to do the same stuff that they were doing.
That's what I
so
mean, yeah.
Tony Hawk's was very similar to like a fighting game, in that a certain directional combination would give you a kickflip
Right.
or a hold or whatever it would give you. It was actually quite rigid in its button combinations. So you do this, that is what you get.
Yeah.
You push your sticks in these directions, that is what you're going to do. So you could emulate what that last person had done quite easily. And again, hopefully it retains a little bit of that as well. That it does feel a bit more like that fighting game, that you can relearn these moves to be able to do, rather than it being a button mashing exercise. I mean, just kind of doing whatever, jumping, and then kind of just going.
Yeah, there is a like method to the madness, but it is just like one of those games that you can just button mash. It is more in that arcade racing. It's like you can fluff these corners and stuff like that. You can do that in Tony Hawk's. It's not.
You can bounce off the edge a little bit. Yeah, doesn't really matter.
I mean, I think that's the key, right? Is that like it's forgiving to button mashing, but if you want to do a specific thing, you can, right?
Yeah.
So like my favorite thing to do in like racing games is downshift braking, because it should blow your engine, but it never does in these games. And because of the coding, it's like most of the Need for Speed games. Most of the Need for Speed games have this flaw, which is I always play in manual mode, and I use my up and down arrow keys as shifting, because you can fucking game these games by just hitting a corner. Your brakes aren't going to kick in nearly as quick enough, or the e-brake will spin you. But if you just hit the down arrow twice, where suddenly you're going from 5th gear to 3rd gear, it'll automatically brake you, engine brake you, and then you get clear the corner. And it's like one of my favorite things about it, because it's arcadey, not simmy. That that's a tool I've got. That's a way of braking, and it turns out they've been consistent across companies actually. But once you learn that, you can put that into your playstyle, and it's not real, but it's this is a thing I've learned on your game.
You can absolutely do that in real life these days with all of these cars with electronic chips in them, rather than them we're actually worrying about their fucking engine.
I mean, I dare you on the highway to downshift to 1, sir. I fucking dare you.
I'll do it now, because there's fucking no one on it at the moment. It's fine.
You will strip those gears and need a new car. Please do not do that.
I still got my little racing wheel for the PS2.
Really?
Ooh, nice.
I bet there's drivers for Windows for that thing.
Now you've given me a project, and I hate you for it.
Lucy.
The one thing I wanted to say about Tony Hawk's is I watched the trailer, and it did seem to say it really highlighted, besides legendary skaters and all the cosmetic and 4K stuff, it did highlight crazy combos and stuff. So I'm really hoping, and it seems like they get what the kind of game that their remastering is, and they're not trying to shift. We talked about the genre shift of let's hope they don't do that. Seems like at least on that. They won't.
I think it's very much in the spirit of Tony Hawk's. I mean, after playing the Crash remaster, I trust Vicarious Visions with that. Yeah. They are very true to the source material, and obviously Tony Hawk's going to endorse his own game, but seeing him there, and the producer from Vicarious Visions, her saying all the right things, I have high hopes for this. And I hope they're not crushed, because I didn't have high hopes for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 at all. As soon as I saw Little Wayne in it, I was just like, this is going to be bad. And it's
Wait,
this is
with a song or as a skater?
No, he was a skater in it.
No.
We won't go there, but this has got all the original music as well, so it looks like they're putting time and effort into this. And those tracks Tony Hawk. I was just listening to him play this.
Hey, I mean, it is how I discovered bands like Millencolin, from the
nice.
original games.
Really?
Stuff that we hadn't had really over in the UK at that kind of time.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
suddenly
know.
everyone's like, this band is brilliant. Oh shit, they've got like 3 albums out. Fantastic. Jump on Napster and try and download not porn, but just some songs. Like, yeah.
But yeah, like all the punk songs are great, and I really like the hip hop in it. Like people forget it's like there's a lot of hip hop in those games, and it's all great songs.
I can't remember. Oh, was it? Oh, I was going to say there was an excellent Cypress Hill song in one of the games, but I think that might have been in a Dave Mirra game in the BMX game instead.
I think there might have been one in a Pro Skater. Maybe. Or maybe I'm thinking
I did like that bleed through of those. Like, and again, it was the soundtrack is something that makes these games.
Yeah.
Because you don't have with like FIFA, with sports games, you often have commentary, so you don't have songs, and the songs are relegated to being kind of in menus and stuff, so they don't matter. Whereas this is how many people skate with headphones in. When I skated, almost everybody. You skated with music going on. If it wasn't headphones, it was someone playing something on a cassette player that you were all kind of listening to. You were all sharing tapes of different bands and stuff as well when you all came to meet up and skate. And the music is a huge part of this. So I'm really glad that they have those licenses back in to bring the original soundtrack. I still like
just randomly saying a lot of those songs. And like when I was talking to my sister earlier, I was like, guess what they're remastering? She was like, what? I was like, I'll give you a few guesses. And then I started singing the Ace of Spades, and she was like, oh, tell me what.
Amazing.
That's where she knows it from as well. That's good.
Can I just... so there is a Spotify playlist of Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters 1 through 4 on Spotify.
Yeah, I was listening to that, yeah.
But I have to relay this story about named games, Extreme Sport Series games, because I find it hilarious. So, for those who don't know, back in the early 2000s, I worked for a climbing wall company. I was like a climbing instructor / just essentially a carny.
A dude.
Yeah. So like it was portable rock climbing walls. So there's like 35-foot trailer, hydraulic lift, could put it up anywhere with flat land. And we would have 3 types of gigs. First type of gig was go to a small town for their like festival day and set it up and belay drunk men racing, basically trying to impress their wives.
Yep.
And I mean, side note, turns out I was 132 pounds soaking wet for that entire career of mine, and these 250, 300-pound men dropping, like it's all well engineered. So when they fell, we would never like trade spaces, but I would definitely launch a foot and a half.
Definitely leave the ground,
yeah. And I milked that for so much of like shocking people. It would be like whoop, and then like fly into the wall with 2 feet and bounce off. And be like, it's okay. But like when there's drunk people racing and they're like, oh my god, the guy behind me, like the guy with my life in his hands is off the ground. What's gonna happen? Oh, it's so good. Just like really reefing it on them. The second type of gig was going to like schools in the prairies of Canada, right? Like they've never seen mountains, and teaching people how to mountain climb on a fake mountain. And these little sheltered kids are like, there's a world above a flora. It was that was by far the most fruitful. Well, the third type of gig was the corporate sponsor, and we got sponsored by Export A, the cigarette company. Before all cigarette advertising that was in public towards kids was banned, and so they sponsored the Extreme Sports Series across Canada, which was the National Motocross Tour and some concerts and some other side gigs. And so they bought from the company I worked for, like basically they rented us as a 35-foot billboard. So like we had to figure out how to attach these like mega Export A Extreme Sports Series like aluminum banners to the wall. after we've erected it, which was a pain because obviously it wasn't built for that. But one of the stops was in Kelowna, BC, which is like this really lovely hippie town with a gorgeous lake, and it's just basically like beautiful people of BC go there to retire or go there to grow up, and it's just like this microcosm of like casual life. And the wakeboarding World Cup was there in, I want to say 2003. I don't know. Don't Google it. I don't know what year. It was sometimes between 1 and 5. So anyway, so we're on the beach, right? And it's just all these like gorgeous people walking by, and they're not really engaging the climbing wall, and we're just basically a banner. And then people start going up, and you've got like as soon as like a couple women in swim attire, we'll say, show up to climb, suddenly there's a crowd. It was that type of event.
Sounds like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, and there was definitely the biggest crowd came when a girl was in a bikini, and it was like, oh, I'm climbing, even though you're gonna put me in a harness, I will put this like polar fleece type like tube skirt, like I mean like a synthetic fabric that was like this long, and she's like, oh, I better put this on, and so slid it on, and then got like harnessed up, and suddenly people were like, I get an upskirt, and suddenly I care more than the girl next to her who was just in bikini bottoms. Like, the world is so terrible. Anyway, so this dude walks up, and he's like, we've got a waiver form. And he's like, oh, do I have to, like, put all my info there? I'm like, yes, it's a waiver. The info is your name, your address, your phone number. That's what you got to do. Sorry, buddy. Like, he's like, but I'm a little worried that like my fans will see my info, and I want to climb your wall, but I don't want people to see this communal form. I'm like, okay, you write your info. I'll just take the page away, even though there's 25 slots. I'll do this for you, random weird paranoid dude. And he's like, cool, yeah. So he climbs, and like I give him some hints, and he gets up top. He's like, that was really fun. And it's like, oh, thanks, buddy. He's like, oh, no problem. I'm like, and he gives this look like, you don't know who I am. And then he just over his shoulder goes, and I look over, and there's a floating buoy of an advertisement, and it's for the latest Xbox 360 wakeboarding game featuring Sean Murray. And then I look at the sheet that I'm supposed to like rip the sheet out of, and it's Sean Murray and his address and phone number. I'm like, oh shit.
If you said Sean Murray, I'd think of the No Man's Sky guy. Like, I still don't know who this wakeboarding champion is.
Oh yeah.
Like, who?
Exactly right. It's like super niche, but we're at the wakeboarding World Cup, and he's clearly the guy because he's the guy Xbox like put the name on the shitty game for. And I was like, oh, have fun, Sean.
Thanks.
This means you're famous, Aadil. You've met a A-list celebrity.
Ooh.
That was a joke. That was
Anyway, yeah. So extreme sports. That's my brief
and
life in
you've
them.
kept his phone number to this day.
Shall we call him up?
I definitely all I did was take that sheet and then tuck it beneath all the other spare sheets. I was like, we're not going to get through all the spare sheets. It's fine. He's like, you have to block that out, right?
We can give him a call, see what his view is on the Tony Hawk remaster.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of soundtracks, though,
See whether he's getting a wakeboarding remaster in the future.
Wakeboarding's real weird. The best memory I have from that trip, besides that, was right. So it's just a bunch of young people gathering, and it's mid 2000s, and there's this DJ on the booth who's playing kind of garbage, and so most people are ignoring him, and then he kicks in Green Day's "Time of Your Life," and the entire beach stops.
Ooh.
No, it's not Time of Your Life. Basket Case. Sorry, Basket Case. And everyone stops and sings along in a way like outside of Coachella or some other like huge like concert venue. I've never seen a large group of people not paying attention to music and be like, "We have to sing along." It was weird.
The 2000s were a bad time.
They were.
They were a weird time.
Yeah, weird. and also bad. But
When did I don't know if either of you know off the top of your heads, but the first Tony Hawk's game, well, the first two were PS1 games, right?
yes,
Did the third make the jump, or was that a PS1 game as well?
I will look it up.
Because I'm wondering whether I'm pretty sure I played 1 through. I'm pretty sure I played 1 through 3, but I'm not sure whether I didn't span over a console or not.
You did. So 1 and 2 were PlayStation games.
That's what I thought.
3, 4, Underground 1, Underground 2, Wasteland were PS2 games. Downhill Jam, which is a game I've never heard of, but Wikipedia has told me exists, was a Wii game.
And this Tony Hawk Ride, which
was the one with the board?
Ride.
I'm assuming that must. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
think
then
I
you
got
own-
up at a
did
good
anyone-
point.
Did you own it, Lucy?
No, I stopped
Did
at
you have the
Wasteland.
Okay.
I mean, Wasteland is 2005, so second PS2 game? No. God, I'm terrible at counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth PS2 game. Sorry, Wikipedia is like tabling, isn't?
And when did Skate series start? Was that PS3, Xbox 360?
Yeah, wasn't that like 2007 or 8 or something like that?
Yeah, it must have been. You know, we'd had like 7 Tony Hawk games at that point.
Yeah.
When someone suddenly went, "We need a skateboarding game. These
Yeah.
are pretty cool, right? Someone else should make another skateboarding game."
So Skate was 360, PS3, and so were 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They never left that console gen.
Sure. Yeah.
Although there was a Skate It spin-off for the Wii, the DS, and iOS. I'm assuming that was a remaster release.
I know they
can't
want to
imagine.
do a Skate 3 remaster on iOS or something. Did you hear that interview?
No.
Oh
No.
yeah, they were. Oh, it's brilliant. It was reported like last week or something how they contacted one of the skaters. I don't know his name. Who was in Skate? I don't know which one. I'm not familiar with the series. But they were like, "Oh, we want to do a Skate game," and he was like, "Okay, which one?" And we were like, "We want to remaster like Skate 3 for iOS," and he was like, "Oh hell no!" He was like, "Go take your mobile game and shove it up your ass, and call me back when you do a proper Skate 4."
Brilliant.
Just read it because it was on some random podcast like last year, and
Oh,
the
pretty good.
excerpt from it is just it's brilliant. You know, it's just like, no.
I'm glad these people, and I'm super glad that they're not just remastering this game, that they have got Tony Hawk involved.
Yeah.
And he is, I don't know, executive producer, or you know what his title is.
Board consultant.
Yeah, I mean he is coming in, but he's not coming in just as a skateboarding consultant. He's coming in as a Tony Hawk pro skater game consultant. At least from the interview they were saying, you know, he was absolutely, and it sounds like he actually had quite a lot of input into those games. With this kind of thing.
Though I think he always has. You know.
He's been very hands-on on that series.
So it's like, take it with a grain of salt that he's saying, "Oh yeah, everything looks good and everything," because he said that about 5, you know. But because Vicarious Visions are on it, and yes, I mean what he said does give me more hope, because he's saying yes, I want it to feel like the PlayStation game and stuff like that. So we'll see. What's interesting is that the collector's edition is like £100, and they're giving you a free deck with it. Well, not free, but skateboard.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, as soon as you get on that, that's going to break in half.
Oh man.
£100, including the game. So
Yeah, it's not a good
£60
deck.
board. Yeah. That's going to break immediately. Activision are just going to turn their support off. Like Bethesda with that bag situation. Like, no, no.
It'll be completely balsa wood
Yeah.
rather than anything else, like the cheapest
fucking
possible
would love
board
that.
possible.
Look, dude, if I got a free-ish balsa wood skateboard, I would immediately, like, I don't have a TikTok account, but I would contrive a situation where I could break that board in a stupid way for a TikTok, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I imagine people are going to just hang that up on their wall rather than actually skate with it.
Yeah.
You know? People who are going to buy a skate deck have already got a skateboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully it is balsa wood and I can get it, because Evelyn and I have been doing a lot of wrestling recently.
And you want to?
And we've been trying to think of something that we can bash over each other's heads.
No, so that's the thing. Like wrestling, I rewatched Max Landis's "Wrestling Isn't Wrestling" video from 2015 about how it's about the plot and it's not real and no one thinks about it is real. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a really good video to explain why people are fans of wrestling, because most people are like, "Why do you like wrestling? It's not real." It's like, no one thinks it's real. It's a narrative soap opera with some really interesting, like, athletic prowess. Like, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah. Just thinking of when Vince McMahon broke his ankles.
Oh.
Just think of him in the chair, mate. Just
yeah. Like, I legit have been thinking about, like, trying to track down, like, streams or whatever, or, like, catch up on wrestling, because it seems like the right thing to, like, tune into. But also, I don't know, did we talk about this a couple episodes ago? Or was it just in the chat that, like, they did like a pay-per-view thing in wrestling with an empty stadium?
Yeah, they did.
It was the wildest thing, because so much of it is crowd, like, just the crowd's there to
getting off the crowd, getting that energy.
Yeah, and it's just like, nope, it's just them doing their athleticism, which is really good. But
it's just weird anyway when you distill it down to there's just naked men, like, doing fake moves.
And women.
And women. But, yeah.
Is it weird? And I mean, not weird that we've linked these two sorts of sportish sort of things, but, like, I always think of the same era. I always think of the same era as, like, Tony Hawk games and those, like, extreme sports games and good wrestling games.
They were good.
Like, they were the things I played as a kid. Extreme sports games and good wrestling games, like WWF, SmackDown.
Yeah, the SmackDown.
What was there was one with the Rock on the front.
I think it was just SmackDown.
Bring the noise or bring the pain. Bring the pain. Yes.
Yeah.
Bring the noise. Bring the funk.
Didn't they just name them after, like, his catchphrases for ages?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. There's just one called "Do You Smell?" and that's it. Just nothing else.
And then there's that weird overcooked DLC called "What the Rock is Cooking."
Oh, mate, that was very, very good.
I would fucking. Can you imagine an overcooked style character that's The Rock?
To be honest, that new WWE
90s or 2000 wrestling Rock with this slight kind of fade going on, like
Have you seen that new like chibi WWE game?
No.
Like, made by the NBA Playgrounds people. And it's weird looking. The characters are weird looking.
Wait, NBA Playgrounds is an EA game?
2K.
Oh, it is 2K. Game. Okay.
Yeah. And they're making a WWE one this winter instead of their mainline game, because that's on hold.
Ooh, is that because the last one was broken?
Yes, and they've had a shake-up with the teams over there, so...
Sounds like they needed it, but I'm not sure a chibi-style WWE game is...
You say that, but, like...
it looks weird. Yeah.
Have you played the OG wrestling game on NES? Those sprites are basically chibis.
Oh, what WrestleMania... 96 or something.
No.
Did anyone play the Simpsons wrestling? Because that was bad.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that was real bad.
How have the Simpsons made every genre of game possible?
Because that Simpsons skating game.
Wait, did they have one?
Yeah, Simpsons skateboarding or something. That was wow.
Let me see if this is the right.
I played a lot of Simpsons games, and
as we said in the chat, the Simpsons are too prophetic. I don't know how they do it. You've got no idea how they do it.
99% of Simpsons games are bad. That's not a hot take.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, I don't disagree.
I think it's
I'm
more,
gonna
to be
Brian.
honest.
No, you got Hit and Run, and that's the
99.6.
1%. I think I played one on like Game Boy. That was alright.
I'm trying
Hit
to
and Run
find-
was okay, but it
Hit
isn't
and Run
quite-
was
Hit and Run was
kind of
okay,
great.
but it's not
Hit
the
and
game
Run-
everyone thinks it was.
No, Hit and
No.
Run's really good. I refuse to believe that it's anything other than really good. That's a good game, Ben. Go away. Turn your camera off. And your mic.
I believe the phrase is "die in a fire."
The arcade beat 'em up game. That's good.
Wait,
Oh, yeah,
where do we
we
even
beat
lead
that.
off for this?
We definitely beat that, Ben. Right at the
We did,
Bristol,
yes.
pop-up arcade.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
did beat
great.
that. It was
It's
hard.
okay.
Garbage.
We had unlimited lives, so
Yeah, of course we did. But
Yeah.
like,
That is not as good as everyone thinks it was.
no, the Turtles game, arcade game, and the X-Men arcade game are still solid.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
was
absolutely.
super salty that they didn't have the X-Men one, and that the Turtles one had people on it all the time.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah.
Like we were there for what, like 2.5, 3 hours, and it was like
yeah, about 3 hours. Yeah,
I can't play this game.
Play Bart versus Space Mutants instead.
Oh, that was one of the like. I
I-
mean, I had a Genesis / Mega Drive, and that was
Was that on Genesis?
one of the. Yeah, it
It
was
was,
a
yeah.
Genesis game, and that game, boy, the graphics were
NES.
terrible.
It didn't look anything
Um,
like The Simpsons, and it.
No, but like,
I
but it
couldn't
was great because you could spray paint things. You could spray paint Skinner in the face.
yeah, there was like a mini game. There were mini games before mini games were like defined, right? Like you're like, go over here now. You can spray paint. This is kind of nothing for your movement towards the end goal, but
It was,
you could
it
do
was
this.
one of the first NES games I played, and I'm surprised that I still game now. Let me just.
A bird used to fly across the screen. You could never get out of its way. Ridiculous.
Jumping on like some windowsills, and some windowsills you couldn't jump on, and
Yes, yeah.
I think I got to like the second
A mess,
level.
Lucy.
Yeah, it's a. That game's bad.
I'm gonna
So
try and find this.
we started this conversation on Tony Hawk's.
A few
We should
times.
probably come back to it.
Extreme. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm
Extreme.
looking forward. September.
The kind of question I have is this a cross-generational game?
Yeah,
Does it
I think if it's
gotta be right.
if it's arcadey, it's gonna hit like people like you and me, Ben, who are like Xennials or like the bridging millennial generation X, and it's gonna hit millennials because they definitely played at least the later Tony Hawk's, and I think if it's arcadey enough, the Zoomers will be like, eh.
I think he
I'm glad
meant,
that's
like,
where you went. I meant PS4, PS5.
I
Oh
was
wow.
like, what is he on about?
No, I think it's definitely a PS4 game. That's amazing. Oof. I thought you meant like demographics.
No, actually, that is a good point because
It is
in
a
the
good point,
interview, they were talking about how we're going to make this for modern audiences, and they said, "Oh, we're going to put it on analog sticks and put in multiplayer." So you are right. Both things I don't get.
It's luckily
You're
I am
It does
darker
tie.
skinned because you can't see the flush that's going over my face.
You know
Perfect, though.
what? It is
Perfect
actually
way
a
to
good
round this
point.
out.
It is actually. A good point.
I've also been pounding.
There's
this game
online
for
multiplayer. That's how it's going to appeal to the
Yeah,
The kids.
coronials or whatever.
Coronials. That's so good. Oh my
They
god,
can make
that's-
their own skate park, which no one ever goes to anymore.
dude.
It's just barren.
If you want a skate park, you build it in Fortnite. Like if there's not a Fortnite add-on where you can do your tricks while like and build ramps.
I spent a lot of time in that mode. Like, I built a lot of my own parks, so
Mm.
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like
Advertising.
Skate 2 was because like you could just go into like fuck off mode and just do things.
Mm.
Ooh, maybe Skate 3.
Oh,
Did
I
it
think it's
come in
Skate
that
3.
early?
Yeah, it might have been Skate 3. I had one skate game. I can't remember which one it was, but like I said earlier, it was just
Hey, I was playing skate games on the Mega Drive. If anyone remembers California games, there was this, which was a collection of 6 or 8 little mini games, and there was a half pipe game on there, which was
beat you with that though.
oh
Skiing on NES in that Crash Test Dummies game.
oh fucking that Crash Test game. No.
I was skiing in that.
not the Yeti game. What was the Yeti game on PC? Which was like
I don't know.
you were skiing and you basically just had to get away from a Yeti.
Oh, you mean like OG NES skiing?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, the game was like do skiing events and like you do the slalom down the hill and you're like meh, 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 as you move left and right. But every once in a while, no matter the mode, a Yeti would just be like meh, and like come across the screen and you'd be like, I guess I'm slaloming around that. It was amazing.
I remember that game.
That game was so good.
Didn't own it, but I remember it.
God, I find so I had a neighbor and came back and gave us 110 game in one NES. Like these games, like that wrestling game, and then a lot of the 110 were like weird derivatives. So it was like this game with the cheat mode. Or a different cheat mode, or a really stupid cheat mode. So it wasn't really 110. And then my cousin, so my uncle worked in oil and gas, so he came home and brought 190 game in one cartridge, and it had the skiing game, which I didn't have, and some other ones, but it was again like inflated. These weird pirated games were like, we're giving you more than one game in a cartridge, but also we'll just add cheat modes to inflate the game count. But skiing was only on my cousin's thing, so we would always play it when we went to my cousin's house, because when they came to our house, they could play any of the games on theirs, minus the ones they like. But the skiing game was amazing, and I don't know what it's actually called, because it was just called like 103 dot space skiing.
I'll find it on that emulator. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
Bring back sports games. Good sports games. Yeah, I miss boxing games. I miss Fight Night games.
well, you should just play Extendo Arm Switch game. What's it called?
Oh, Arms. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I tried out the demo for that when it first. Well,
Dropped.
before it even came out. Yeah. Like the beta. That's fun, but I think it's much better if you're using the motion controls.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, I'd love like a pure boxing game that uses something like like Ring Fit or something like that.
Oh, they need to bring back fucking
Fight
Fight
Night.
Night.
Fight Night, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's on
we
EA Access, but yeah, they need to bring it.
we got a hit from Twitch reminding us that Ski Free.
Yeah,
The
I just
OG
googled it on my
that's
screen.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
far too. Yeah.
Ski Free on Windows was what was OG.
That's what
Windows
I was
90
thinking of.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yes,
that's like
yeah,
Windows 95, right?
Or maybe
No.
3.1 or whatever.
Yeah. So my dad was so like, I'll be ahead of the time, so he bought Windows 3.0, which came with 0 games, and then all my friends got Windows 3.11, which came with Jizzball and Ski Free and all these other things, and I'm like, I don't have those, and my dad's like, well, it's functionally the same operating system. I'm not buying this $250 operating system for
Sorry.
Jizzball and Ski Free. But
Jizz.
like, I know it's Jazzball, but I always called it Jizzball, even as a precocious 10-year-old.
Just making sure.
do you know? So Jazzball was
What do I remember?
Jazzball was this game where you had like a grid of squares and a bouncing ball that would be like bow, bow, bow. And then you could click at a certain place, and from that place it would draw a line upwards and downwards of squares slowly, and then cut that portion out. And the point was you were trying to isolate those balls in a small enough area. So every level would be a different size of general canvas and a number of balls. So you were trying to no, but Minesweeper, because it was dynamic. Like Minesweeper was very static. It's like I'm gonna click on this one. Just Ball was like, I want to slowly isolate these balls in the small enough space. Windows 3.11, amazing game. I was so jealous of all my friends because Windows 3.0 came with Solitaire.
Yeah.
Standard Microsoft Solitaire. The game that hasn't changed in 30 years. Solitaire.
It's great.
I think it's when you upgraded to 95 that you got like Hearts.
Oh, Hearts, Free Cell.
Free Cell, yeah.
I fucking hated playing Hearts with computers, though.
Yeah.
I loved it because you could win every time.
Yeah, because they're bad.
Queen of Brigades to whoever.
Also, I think, Aadil, you were thinking of Slalom for the NES.
So the thing is, on the pirated, 160 Game & One or whatever, it was called
Was it called Shalom? Or
no, it was just called Skiing. Yeah. So even as soon as you showed me that brief cover, I'm like, yes, I was talking about Slalom. It was never called Slalom in my past because even back in the day, I had access to the pirated games.
It was just shareware everywhere, all the time.
It was not shareware. It was just pirateware.
Oh, good. What a tangent we've gone on from Tony Hawk's. Lucy, I know you had something else to talk about this week. Do you want to delve into it for 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes. It's not going to take more than that. I played Joystick Man 3. I don't think I've ever talked about Joystick Man game.
No, I don't even know it.
Oh, I think we have.
Might have. Might have been
Maybe just in the texty chat.
Maybe. But those are good games. I think they would be great. I mean, they're great for kids. It's like, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like you can transpose your own Stickman drawing onto this world, and you go through these different worlds. You gather new powers. It's sort of Metroidy. You basically get these pencils, and it's like, oh, if this pencil I can draw clouds or rain, and if this pencil I can draw electricity and stuff like that. So it's really fun in that way. It's got that nice tactile feel where you're drawing into these worlds and solving puzzles that way. And yeah, it's just a series that apparently is more famous than I thought, and more, when I looked on HitSense, is the developer on their website, they're like, oh, it's been downloaded so many different times. I mean, it's on all these games are on so many different platforms, like iOS and Android and stuff like that, where I imagine a massive footprint is going to go, if the younger audiences. But yeah, even for adults, they're really fun, And I played the second and third one this weekend. So I was just like, I need something relaxing, something that's, only going to take a few hours and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, these are the light-hearted games that I want,
Nice.
And the second one has a dungeon crawler to it, which is kind of cool. This Diablo dungeon crawler, DLC. But yeah, the third one is, I think the second one is my favourite, but the third one tries to go a bit more 3D. And I think they lose some of the essence of the ease and more direction of the second one.
Yeah.
But in the third one, they open this hub world and quests and stuff like that. So it's definitely got more of a longevity to it. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to these games because they're pretty fun. They're good, nice light-hearted romps.
Are they super short as well?
Yeah. The second one probably took me, maximum 3 hours?
Yeah.
Probably about the same runtime as the third one. And the Dungeon Crawler DLC, which I got in the second one, I played that on Switch. The first one I played on Xbox, and the third one I played on PC. So I run the whole gamut. But
so good job, stuff doesn't carry over from each of them, and doesn't take your save game and regenerate something.
That would be good if you could I've drawn this little stick person, I like the way they look, I want them in all my games. That would have been a good thing. I think, yeah, maybe they do implement that on, considering I've played on 3 separate systems,
Yeah.
But Yeah, I think my favorite place to play it is. Who would have thought on the Switch? Because I could use the joystick to move around, and I could just draw on the screen with my fingers.
Lucy,
Yeah.
do you have a Pro controller?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
because
'Cause
I only ever put it in the dock for Ring Fit. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I know you don't dock, but I will say that like playing. Oh, let's just pause.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't sit on the dock of the bay now.
Wow, that's a great track. I like how you made that PG again.
Mm.
I actually like a few times I've played Animal Crossing on the big screen. I'm like, oh, this is very different. Like,
Yeah, I played it once on there after I finished Ring Fit, and I was like, "This is disgusting." Everything felt
so
wrong.
I actually like it. So I think for me, that game, given that like there's a paucity of detail on the tiny screen, and it makes me not give a shit about like certain aesthetic things. And I was like, oh, I can tell this island is kind of garbage and trash when I see it on a 49-inch TV. Oh, maybe I will do more. Like I feel the difference between the modes in a different way for Animal
I
Crossing.
played it for like 20 minutes. I was like, "This is weird. I'm just going to take it out of the dock now and go back."
I mean,
to,
you clearly don't have the problem I have because your island is awesome and my island
Thank
is
you.
trash.
I will visit maybe next week, so you've got until then.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is I liked the rustic charm of like stranded on an island, so it was like, who cares about weeds out of a certain area? And
No,
also, I don't
we
want to
need
chop
to-
down trees. But then, it's like,
Gentrification. I'm sorry.
yeah, but the point is the game can't progress unless you give a shit.
Gentrify it
Yeah,
as every island should be.
yeah.
Already
Gentrification.
colonized it. at this
I mean,
point.
really, my problem is like, from what I understand, I need to unlock like paths and other things, but in order to do that,
That's after the credits roll.
yeah.
which I-
The problem is like so from the tools I have right now aren't good enough for me to be like, yeah, I'll put a lot of effort and then change things. The tools I know are like upcoming. It's like, yeah, I would totally redesign. I would like if I had all the tools, I would try and make this really cool island.
You want a sandbox mode for it.
But I'm like in this weird liminal space of.
I think that's a good thing though. 'Cause I felt overwhelmed at a certain point.
Right, I
Yeah.
just think I've hit this weird stagnancy point because
I hit that,
the
and
things
then
I can do aren't enough to make me want to do them. But if I don't do them, I can't unlock the modes where I can actually make something that I find interesting and worth doing. So I
had that day, and then I got over it because I was like,
Ah.
it's 8 o'clock, Nook's Cranny.
But also, I've learned something very interesting, which is when you have your public works like a new bridge or a new ramp or whatever, the game's like people just donate and
No, they don't.
you know they do. Lucy,
Do they?
they do. I know because I've tracked
much?
this. Because I paid like 75 of like 375 grand or whatever for my second bridge, and then I was like, fuck this, and I left. Mostly because the little like weird orange wormy dude, I was like, I like you as a character. I kind of don't want you to leave. It's this guy with a like this.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
think of an orange cactus wearing a like constructor hat.
Yes, you mentioned this last time.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
So it's like I'm
Like a
actually
cacti.
exactly. I'm okay with you sticking around, so I'll just stop donating because now you're just a piece of my like island furniture. And then I checked in like 3 weeks later, a couple days later, and he was like, "There's no way." Like, I'm sorry, I'm OCD enough that I donate money in like whole numbers, and it's like you owe like this needs 74,563. I'm like, there's no way I donated some random number. Turns out the game will slowly donate, but like at the hundreds per day of a 75,000 bell thing. I'm like,
It's too
guess
slow.
this bridge isn't being made until I don't pay for it. Fuck this. This is the hill I die on. And now my
You log back in and there'll be a bridge there.
no,
Hill of
but like
gone.
I know it'll take forever, but I kind of want
It'll
to
take a
just
year.
see how long it takes for the game to build it without my
This
my
game is
input.
not for you anymore, sir.
Hey, this game, as Aadil shared earlier, this game is for no one.
Yes, exactly. God, thank you for bringing that meme up. But like, these are the things I like pushing on games. The problem is with Animal Crossing, it's like we'll support you on the 100 bell a day donation thing, but these are in thousands of bells, so it functionally doesn't matter that we're slowly
Yeah,
decrement.
it's like paying your own mortgage, isn't it? It's like, we'll give you 0.1% interest rate in your savings account, but you got to do the rest, mate.
Yeah.
So there's a perverse part of me who's like, I want to go further in the game. I want to like add paths. I want to get KK to come here, and so I can just have more freedom. But also, I don't want to just do a lot of work and make a bridge for everyone else.
You don't have to. You can take it at a very slow pace, you know?
That's kind of...
Or you just never play again.
Yeah.
You're just saying that because you don't have a Switch, man. Like, if you had a Switch, you'd be like, I will architect the fuck out of this. I will design this island.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely, probably. It's what paralyzes me every time I open up city skylines. Like, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. No, this doesn't look how I want. Scrap it. Start again.
That's like me in too many games. It's like, just the, like, option paralysis is too much sometimes. It's like...
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just like, you know what? This'll do. And then when I want to perfect it, I just, you know, I get the impetus. It's like, oh, I got this nice espresso machine. Maybe I'll make this nice cafe area today.
I think it's a surprise to know that Lucy has the most healthy approach to games. Ben doesn't have the time to be overwhelmed, but could be OCD if he had the inclination. And Aadil is so OCD he just doesn't play games.
Yeah, as if you couldn't donate within, like, you know, you have to do it. You can only do the hundreds or whatever.
Dude, I have like 300,000 bells in savings. I could pay the 75,000 quid that it takes for that bridge to be built, but I won't now because maybe I don't have to. But also, I like the dancing orange octopus guy.
He is cool.
That's fair. That's fair. Right,
You
let's
can
finish there.
Yeah.
You can make another bridge. No more money.
Let's finish there this week.
Yeah. Quick PSA. Everyone should go download and play the Dolores. What's it called?
Thimbleweed Park?
Oh, Thimbleweed Park, yeah.
Mini adventure. Basically, Jeff just got the assets from Thimbleweed Park and scrambled a game together, and it's really fun. It's really good. It probably took me about 3 hours.
I never played Thimbleweed Park. Can I play the free adventure without playing it, or should I?
You can. It might give slight spoilers, but they'll be so out of context. It's just you'll probably forget them by the time you play Thimbleweed Park.
It's like because surprising no one except maybe people who haven't met me. I own Thimbleweed Park, but have never played it. But now it's like, I'll play the free adventure, sure.
Yeah,
that might be shorter.
It's about it took me about 3 hours because I didn't want to use any guides. I had to for some things because it's still got that like kind of obscure kind of puzzle solving that are in a lot of point and clicks in the 90s. But yeah, they said that they were testing out a new game engine. So this doesn't actually use Scum, kind of like verb prompts like look at, open, etc., etc., and like Thimbleweed Park and classic point and click. So it's a bit different in that way, but it's simple enough where you won't need all those verbs. But
is it different in a better way?
No, it depends who you are. I looked at the reviews after I finished. Some people prefer it. I prefer Scum.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just on your sensibilities, you know. Like, I like that I very much like the you know, the verb prompts and stuff like that. But that's because I'm a sucker for nostalgia. Maybe I don't know. I like, you know, pushing a bulb. I don't know, and then just seeing whatever funny writing they come up with, like, oh no, I would never push a button, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this has no voice acting. The text is like very abridged. There's not much to it, so because it is a free game, they did just throw it together. Not literally, but kind of literally, just throw it together and just put it out there. But yeah, it's great. Yeah, I want more Thimbleweed. I every now and then look at and see what a terrible Toybot's doing. What's wrong with Gilbert doing? And this is probably the best credits I have ever seen to a game.
Oh, what a good credit! Credit.
Yeah, the credits roll, because it's like this long piece of music, and it's just like only a few people worked on this, so it's like, oh, we've got like 5 names, and then we have to fill the rest. And it's just like quips from Ron Gilbert saying like, Donald Trump is an idiot. Go buy our game. Donald Trump is still an idiot. Oh, by the way, you can still buy our games and stuff like that.
That's
it's
amazing.
so good. Yeah, it's got that old Lucasfilm charm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Something to delve into next week, definitely.
It's free.
Yeah, that absolutely helps. So, we will finish there this week. Let's talk about the beers that we've had. I will start as I cracked open first and started. I think it's an easy one for me this week to pick a better beer, but I would definitely drink both again. The Sensei from Deep Creek was a nice IPA. Very easy, gave me a lot of grapefruit in there, a little bit of a few more tropical notes coming through the more I drank it. Definitely opened up more as I drank it. The Karpo hemp was from Alpha Delta was really good from the off. A great flavour, super dank, nice. A very well balanced beer, which gave me that nice dank element, but also gave me this lovely floral note to it as well, and balanced those really well. It wasn't sort of offset, which I think kind of a floral note and a dank note could very easily work against each other, and these worked really well. So it goes to the Alpha Delta for me this week. Aadil, how about you?
So where did I put that can? The IP Virginia Beer Company Freeverse IPA, described as tropically in the flavor text, was good. It hit the points of being an IPA, not being in your face, having tropical notes, like a thing I would easily grab a second of.
Yeah,
but I have to remember what this fucking thing is called. The Dia de los Muertos in Barrica. Sorry, I'll just put this on the screen. Boys, this is a great fucking beer. It's an imperial stout. It's 9%. It's a proper imperial stout. It's it's heavy in the alcohol, but doesn't taste heavy. It's really easy to drink, and the chocolate and I've already forgotten what was the name. Oh, Scotch bonnet. Chilies were so well imbued into the thing. It's an imperial stout. You can't tell it's 9%. It that sweetness is just married in, so that when you have these more, like I said, these dark chocolate notes, they're offset by the sickly sweet sort of the alcohol, so that you just don't notice that it's really heavy alcohol wise. And then the Scotch bonnet is like this lovely peak that's really low key but steady throughout the whole thing. So you just this is adding to things, and if I love heat or hate heat, it's not offensive on either way. It's just it's exactly what you want from a chili-based beer, which in the sense of it's not chili-based. It's just this is chili. If you're not into it, it's fine. It's giving a unique tasting note. If I wanted a spicy thing and I ate it, and it was this spicy, I'd be like, But for drinking it, it's exactly right. It's this. All this is doing is opening up the flavor profile. This is super interesting. I get that hint of what Scotch bonnet is doing, but also mostly it's just a melding of all the things. And I don't need to have any sort of heat tolerance to like this beer.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just very, very good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to track down a copy of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never had a beer with Scotch bonnets in it, and
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't taste like a beer with Scotch bonnets on it. Like I've had beers which like advertise their like heat profile, and they've been like, "I'll burn you," and this is like, we've got a very burny pepper, but also you won't be burned by it. It's
just balanced really well.
Yeah, it's really excellent.
Nice. Yeah.
Good. And Lucy, how about you?
Yeah, it's very close. I think it's probably just down to the mood I've been in the last couple of weeks, but I'm gonna give it to the Some 50 from Verdant. The North. What's this beer called?
I mean, that sounded really excellent. Yeah.
Has it got a name?
North are an odd one because occasionally they don't put names on.
It's like, oh yeah, it's the North with the yellow and black can.
Yeah, it's just called Stout, but I think maybe the abstract writing on it maybe says Cloud or something like that. But yeah, black can with like yellow weirdness on it for anyone who's looking for it. And it's the collab with Dugges, so that will narrow your search. But yeah, it's a really good stout. It's not imperial. It's not, you know, it's only 7.5. I say only. It's 7.5%, but it's got a full enough body where it's filling, and it's got, you know, nice bit of depth with the chocolate, with the coffee, with the tonka beans, sweetness from that vanilla. It's everything that you want from like a stout. That's not going to leave you, you know, that's not too boozy. Doesn't give you that alcoholic burn. It's just enough, but you just want something more robust than like, you know, your milk stout or your 5% porter or something like that. And it's a really, really, really good stout. But
nice.
You see, I'm second guessing myself now. It's like, oh, I was gonna, you know, tie them up and just take the Lucy way out and just say, yeah, draw to this week. But no, I'll give it to the Some 50 Verdant, because that. Not that, you know, the North wasn't, but it was really well balanced. Like, get that nice hit of fruit, like really punchy at the start with the aroma and the flavour, and then you just get a nice bit of pininess and bitterness on the end. And oh, what a good beer! Both really good this week. Very good. Happy. It's much better than that seltzer I had a few weeks ago. That was a dark time in my life, and we will not talk about it ever again.
We don't need to even think about it again, do we?
No. It wasn't really a dark time, just in terms of the beer.
Yes.
Having 0 beers. Which is a dark time.
That is us for this week. Thank you for those of you who have joined us over on Twitch this evening. We'd be very, very grateful if you listen to us in the podcast or you're watching us on YouTube to give us some likes, to rate and review us as well on your podcast service of choice. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Join in with the Twitch chat. Email us, TanksUpcast. Yeah, absolutely.
I will talk about Tony Hawk whenever people want me to.
Definitely up for fielding more questions as well if you bring them in. You can email us tanksupcast@gmail.com. You can go to our socials at tanksupcast on Twitter and on Instagram as well, where we post up the beers too if you missed any of our descriptions or our tasting notes on them as well. I'm at Nova_47 on the socials if you want to not play any of the single player games with me that I'm currently playing. Lucy, how do people get hold of you?
I am JuicyLoose9 everywhere. On Twitter, as Aadil would have seen earlier. I'm just going to start like listing the games that I finished this year, because I finished a lot of games.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know how many characters in a tweet now, or however many it was before.
280?
I don't care. But anyway, I'm just going to be like, I finished this game and here's 280 characters about it. Done. Little mini review.
Mini reviews, nice, that's good.
Just to give a shout out to games like Fire Escape, which I talked about today, which hasn't got too many eyes on it so far, so yeah. And yeah, just JuicyLoose9 everywhere.
Quality.
Excellent.
Aadil, how about you?
I am at the Omniarch on all of the things except
including
Twitch, where I am the _ Omniarch, and I occasionally stream games.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Have you finished that yet?
No, I've actually taken like a week and a half hiatus. Like I'm like at chapter.
Apparently, it gets a bit
8?
long in the tooth. Yeah.
Yeah,
The same thing at the
but
end.
I think I'm gonna try and pick that up. But I might also think, given that I have this, you can't see. Well, actually, maybe you can see. You see in my closet all of the cardboard boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I might start doing Lego lunch moments and just like build Lego for an hour.
I will be there for that.
Because I have a bunch of Lego that I need to just sort through and possibly sell. But like also, hey, that's the thing I enjoy doing. Maybe I'll just like put my camera on like literally this long thing and just fucking build Lego for an hour a day. So that's my current thing. Is I'll probably like randomly at night, like in the evenings, play a game, but like in the afternoons, build some shit. And that's going to be my online presence.
Ooh, I'm going to send you challenges. Build a pigeon, build a submarine.
Oh, I mean, do that. So like, the real key is, do I just build sets to like instruction manual?
Do you push your boundaries a little bit?
Or do I just like build sets and then put everything in a bucket and then have a challenge and be like, I have this bucket of pieces.
You go like this, and you go grab, and you grab 20 pieces, and you like have to build something out of this.
Yeah,
I like that.
You're gonna go full Lego Masters. Yeah.
I am okay with that because I have too many separated pieces, and some of them I'm willing to sell, and some of them are like, oh, I have them.
Keep them.
So, stay in tune for Aadil's Lego adventures in the coming weeks.
I'm gonna get on Lego digital designer, make an architectural.
No, none of this overhead. That has so much pressure. I want to be able to build a thing that's garbage, and people are like, yeah, that's garbage, and not have to submit it to the place where they're like, it's officially garbage.
Yeah. I will.
I don't want that. Like, I'm fine with everyone. I'm fine with me thinking it's garbage and everyone who sees it is garbage, but I don't need the official stamp of it's garbage.
Yeah, there's an Instagram page where it's like Lego optical illusions, and it's like, can you build this? And it's like, there's obviously like connector pieces, like to knot pieces and stuff like that, and that means stud not on top.
Instagram's very good for Lego.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah.
I'll share the page with you, but yeah,
nice.
We'll move on. Let's wrap it up.
So, for those of you still with us, go to outoflives.net to look at loads of other articles, and also Aadil and I have been chatting over trailers the last couple of weeks, so it's something we're going to continue to do as more trailers come out. If you want to get a little bit more of a take on these trailers, we're going to be there. You can go to the YouTube page, which is Out of Lives. You can go to outoflives.net, or you may have done this evening, you can go to Twitch and go to Outlives Network, I think, on Twitch. Outlives Network?
Outlives Network on Twitch, which is where all our viewers are currently at. And thanks to Cosmic Saboteur, who's shared our Discord link. Because our Discord is getting a little more functional, and also we are, well, I wouldn't say we have a schedule, but we're doing Jackbox type games with whoever is sort of around 2-3 times a week. In the evening, the nighttime UK time.
For you, mate.
Yeah, in the nighttime UK time, but like if more people want to engage, we could probably have more of a schedule. But right now, it's really easy to just, hey, it's 9, who wants a Jackbox? Or hey, it's 1 in the morning, who wants a Jackbox? And so the Discord's getting kind of, actually, it's a reasonable place to come jump in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're friendly.
Good. So, that's it from us for another week. We've been tanked up. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Ow.
www.outoflives.net.